Hey, aloha, 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 all my sharks. You threw me pointing your shirt there. I almost totally butchered that. Welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Gaddis, the other co-host, Nick Ponte, on the call. How's everybody doing today, man? We're excited to be here. Another week in the books, another a lot of stuff going on in the Offline Sharks community, so we're super excited to be here. We're excited to share it with you. I'm going to cue the intro, and we will just dive right in.
Are you?
Oh, maybe I'm going to cue you.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Hey, what a great crowd. Listen to that. Listen, man, they are worked up out there. I love hearing that. I love hearing that excitement, that feedback, you know?
Yeah, Tom, I'm a little tired off of the long journey from my island retreat. I had to hike down from the volcano.
Oh man, yeah, it has been quite the week, huh?
Yeah, it really has. It really has.
It doesn't slow down. Like when you do a launch, it doesn't slow down. Hey Terry, aloha. She's in Florida.
Hey Terry.
Welcome.
We're gonna be coming out to Florida in September, Tom.
We will be there in September. We're going to Funnel Hacking Live. So we'll be there
going to Funnel Hacking Live.
Yeah, if you're going, come hit us up.
Let us know in the comments.
Somebody said, "What are you drinking?" This is iced tea.
Sure it is, Tom. Sure it is.
It's iced tea. Not Long Island, just regular iced tea. Hey, what's up, Dorn?
Dorn, I thought
what
you
is
were...
that he just put in the questions there? I don't even know what that is. Hey, aloha, Jacqueline, Teresa, Don,
Matthew, Mike, Terry.
Yeah. And it's, it started not just, let's see. So we'll be in Orlando in September. And then it's starting to look more and more like it's going to happen. But I'm probably going to be in the Vegas area for about 6 weeks. So I know there's some sharks out there. I met up with them last time I was in Vegas. So awesome.
Yeah,
Aloha, Matthew.
In Vegas, right? Lots of people in Vegas.
Yep.
Florida. It's always interesting every time we get to leave here and we get to meet up with our tribe, right? We've met up with some people, I mean, man, all over the states now, like Vegas, San Diego. I met up with some in New York, Colorado. Geez, I'm sure there are more. Pretty crazy though.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. We try to do that whenever we hit the road if we can make time, because we don't get off the island that often, and so it's nice to do that. I know yesterday was April Fool's. It was really hard to not pull an April Fool's joke on you. I have to tell you, man. I went me on you. I went back and forth all morning, and I was like, no, he's got so much stuff going on.
I was pretty stressed out yesterday.
What's that?
I was pretty stressed out yesterday. It probably wouldn't have been good.
I was like, yeah, so I refrained. I
would have freaked out probably. That's funny.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just thinking that we haven't really told everybody what we're going to be talking about today, which I think is important because we've got a good live show up ahead. We actually have our mystery guest. Not so much of a mystery, but sort of a mystery. We brought our appointment setter. Well, former appointment setter now. Now he's, after he met us, he decided to step up in the world, and we kicked him out of the nest. We'll just put it that way. We kicked him out of the nest.
I think he more like jumped out of the nest.
Yeah, he did.
His thing, but
he jumped. But you guys, we're gonna talk to him live. We got a lot of good Dorn says he got served fake divorce papers yesterday.
Oh man, that's great.
But we're gonna be talking to our appointment setter. We already got a new one, so that's not something that we would just stop doing because it's a valuable thing within our business, as you all know. But we got some Cash App prizes that we're gonna give away. We're gonna have some chit chat with our appointment setter, talk strategy, talk more about how he's averaging a bunch of appointments every single day. He's got an insane amount of appointments right now. It's actually been a little while since I've spoken with him, since he's gone out and started to do his own thing. But it sounds like he's actually ramped it up and scaled it up a little bit. So I'm curious to hear more about what he's doing. And also, so if you guys have some questions, make sure you get those written down and get them ready, because we're going to be answering those live.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I see him back in the waiting room, chomping at the bit, ready to get on here. We do have a few things we want to do before we bring our guest out, and one of them is, as you guys know, every week we like to celebrate the success that people in our community are having. So our team combs through the Facebook group over the past week and pulls out all the posts and comments of people that are taking action, implementing, getting results, and we feature those on a special segment we call Shark Shoutouts. And so today we have some great Shark Shoutouts lined up, and I'm going to share my screen. So, first, before I do that,
shoutouts.
There are a lot of them, yeah. Before I do that, this is important because there's money involved. So pay close attention. So every week, if you go to this link, either when you're on the live show or before you come on the live show, right before you go to offlinesharks.com shoutouts, it will take you to that week's post in the Facebook group of all the shoutouts. So you'll see them all there. We'd like for you guys to go to that post, make comments, congratulate them, give them a big aloha, fins up, whatever you want to do to let them know they're doing a great job. And what we do is at the end of this stream, we'll pick a few people out of there and give them some Cash App money. So you just go to offlinesharks.com/shoutouts right now, leave a comment, let them know they're doing a great job, and you'll be able to see that. So with that being said, let me share my screen. There's so many, I couldn't make that post any bigger. So this is as big as it gets. I'm going to take this off, so hopefully that won't. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I mean, look at all those.
Yeah, there's a lot, you guys. And that's the post that Tom is talking about. So if you go there right now in the Facebook group, or you just go to that link, which will take you to that post in the Facebook group, then you can congratulate everybody there. And of course, we can send you some Cash App, or you'll be eligible to get some Cash App money. We like to spread it around a little bit. Spread the aloha.
That's right. Like just get one of those guns, I should have a Cash App gun.
Money gun.
She'd say, yeah. We should have one of those. It's awesome. Yeah. So you just go to offlinesharks.com shoutouts, or just find this post in the Facebook group, right? It's usually pinned right to the top, so you can find it there if you don't have the link. But let's start. Let's get cracking. So our newly fake divorced megalodon shark, Dorn Britton, is first up on the shoutout. So Dorn, look at this. Dorn almost has his first mailer full. Only 2 spots left to go. Dorn, that is freaking awesome. That's really awesome. He sold 3 websites with SEO, 2 LinkedIn managed services, and a social media big package this week. So as normal, kicking butt and taking names. And, I think it's good if you get a chance to, if you can find some of the old posts that Dorn made in the group, like as he's been growing to this level, it's really amazing to see that progression in our sharks, right? When you're just getting traction, you're starting to get traction, and then you hit that tipping point and things really start to explode, which Dorn has done, and just killing it out there. So Dorn, awesome job. Awesome job. Our next one goes to Shannon Boyd. I love that picture with the goatee there. That's awesome. Shannon sold. What's that?
It always gets me every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Shannon sold a pharmacy website for $1,500. That's a solid deal, Shannon. Solid deal.
Nice.
Our next shout out goes to Sandy Alexander. So Sandy had a logo client. So that logo client has now paid for social media page creation and a small 1 to 2 page website, which is a great deal. Holy cow. Woo. Dorn, send me some of that money when I'm in Vegas. I'll double it for you. Possibly.
Is that why you got the fake divorce papers? She wanted to really half, Dorn, half.
As I say, technically, you only made, if you got divorced, you only made like 30.
I want half.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sandy, congratulations. That's a really solid deal. Social media page creation, a small 1 to 2 page website. That's great. Way to get traction, Sandy. Our good friend, Jocelyn Wing. We see her a lot in the shout outs. She has, again, been ramping up and just keeps going. Jocelyn closed a second e-commerce deal. It's a $500 monthly. So she told the client to add another $2,500 a month to his marketing budget. That's fantastic. So she's now added $22,500 from one client. So the breakdown of that package is 4 articles at $1,000. It costs her $200 to fulfill that. So she's outsourcing that like we teach in Offline Sharks. So her profit on that alone is $800. Really solid. She also did 30 days of social posting, $750. So time to create and curate. So she's doing it herself about 8 hours. So that's basically $1,500 for a day's work. That is a solid return on your time investment. So Jocelyn, awesome, man. Awesome to see that. We've got our friend Richard Cronin. Richard, so in March, he secured payments for 22 premium listings at $89 each. He's been killing it with those and that price point, right? He got 2 social media content posting 12-month contracts, 2 of those at $350 per month, so $700 a month total, right? He got a deal for advertising on his AGM sites and a 5-part email sequence to all his directories listings for $2,300. So, this is something that we talk about from time to time, but I don't see, I've seen a few sharks doing it, but if you're doing agency growth machine, if you're following that model, like there's a lot of ways you can monetize, right? By adding advertising to the homepage of your influencer site. Like you can put ads wherever you want, things like that. And so that's really awesome. And he's also sending emails out about people to the clients he has on his list, right? So, and he's charging for that as well. So Richard, great way to get those multiple streams off of one thing coming in. That's a solid deal. Awesome. Rod, I'm not going to try to say your last name, but our next shout out goes to Rod. Rod sold a simple e-com site to an attendee at church. That is awesome. Like we talk a lot about, like when you're out there trying to get your first clients or really get your agency off the ground, it's easy to ignore your personal network. And when we say personal network, like the places you go, the people you hang out with, like you may not directly know someone who needs something, but I bet you are around people that do know other business owners. So always good to, make sure people know what you do, what you're trying to do, put the word out if they need help to let you know. So Rod, that's solid. Way to go. Marcus Toller sold 2 ad spots for his co-op mailer and a digital spot to a nonprofit. It is really awesome to see people using the mailer. I know the power of that thing. Like it has served me so well. So really awesome to see that.
Digital spot too.
Yeah, and a digital spot. That's really great. And then we got 2 shout outs left. So our penultimate shout out goes to Frank the Tank. He secured a $2,500. He secured $2.5K for 2 websites for a deck builder contractor. He's handling his Google My Business, his reputation for the first month included. 2 months for $749 a month of services. Frank, that's awesome. Way to go, man. And then finally, a shout out to our special guest that we're going to be bringing on here in a little bit, Devin Atkins. He set up a total of 69 appointments in the last week and a half. 69 appointments. That's crazy. And by the way, he did that in the real estate niche, which is, I think, a testament to what he's doing, because that is not an easy niche to do that in. So great job, Devin. Yeah. Here's some applause for everyone on the shout outs page. Again, if you guys can do us a favor, head over to this link. Give these people some love in the comments. And then a little bit later, we will give away some Cash App money to people that post on that post there, or comment on that post there. So awesome job. In fact, Nick, we should give away some Cash App money right now.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
So that song just gets me fired up every time, Nick. Every time. Every time.
You guys, you know how, well, actually, maybe some of you don't know how the Cash App raffle game works. So on every single one of our lives, you guys, we like to give out some Cash App money. Usually we just ask a couple questions, or we do ways to get some encouragement going in the group, like, commenting on a specific post of the shout outs. But this one, the way this will work right now is I'm going to ask a question, and the first person that gets it in the comments correctly is going to get some Cash App money. So can you guys give me some likes on the stream? Let me know in the comments that you are ready for some Cash App love. Okay.
I see it. It's coming in.
All right. So the question is, what was the grand prize given away on the training we did yesterday? We did like we gave away an actual physical item on the training yesterday.
Actually, on both trainings. We did it on the first one and the second one. Yeah.
And we emailed everybody telling everybody what it would be. So you didn't even have to be there to get it. But, I mean, like I said, we like to spread the love around. We gave away 2 of these over the last couple of days. Probably around, I don't know, how much are those things? Like $350? Maybe
they're around there. $300, something like that.
And
I'm
then,
trying to scroll up to see. I don't know who this person is. It just says Facebook user. It's right after Mark. Can somebody on the team tell me who that is? I think it's right after Mark Kessler.
Might have to skip them. I mean, you got to log in the stream. If we don't know who you are, how are we supposed to do money?
I see somebody else right below that I can see their name.
And by the way, this thing we gave away, you guys, is insane. It is insane. Both Tom and my absolute favorite. We got it as a gift, so we've been getting them as gifts for everybody, because actually our friend David Sprague is the one who he corrupted us. He literally corrupted us. He's our I don't know, virtual reality dealer, I guess you could say. And now that we entered the VR world, we've just been bringing people with us. We've just been recruiting them. And so the answer is it's an Oculus Quest, which is what
I don't know who that is. That was the first person, but let's give some Cash App money to the second person too. So the second person that got it was Brad
Dickey, and then I just got a text saying it was Mark Baker. So Brad Dickey and Brad Baker. Yeah,
that's awesome. Guys. Congratulations. Some Cash App money coming your way. Throw your Cash App tag in there. By the way, the 2 people that won the Oculus on the trainings. So we had Bob, I forget his last name. It starts with a W. Bob W won on the first training. And then on the second training, it was Genario won the second one. So I believe we got those sent out today. So if you won one of those Oculuses, you're good. If you're on the stream, you see this, they're coming your way. You're freaking going to love them.
You are. Best game, my opinion, Population 1. I play that thing. And I actually have not allowed myself to get into gaming ever since I started my business, but it's a slippery slope.
That was pretty fun. Yeah. Population 1 is good. I like the, there's a climbing game on there that's pretty exciting too. Like you climb up the mountain and you can look, it's pretty awesome. And then you can't go wrong
away.
What's that?
I was just saying, like, you'll be blown away. Like, you climb stuff and you like look down and like your heart will start racing. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would get sweating like crazy when I'm doing the climbing game. It's like a workout. I'm like, I'm not even really doing anything. Like, I'm grabbing air. And then the other one that's really good to get your heart rate pumping too is Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. That's a good one.
Beat Saber is like you have like double lightsabers and these things come at you and you have to like slice them in certain ways and match the colors of the lightsabers. It's like it's pretty freaking awesome.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty
yeah. Walk the plank. Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones on there. So yeah, awesome. Brad, yes, we can do that. Just pop your PayPal in the comments and we can do that. Yeah, awesome. Okay, cool. So we got our shout outs. We gave away some Cash App money. I think we should probably bring our guest on because it's getting close to the bottom of the hour. So let's bring our guest on here and let me get this.
Hey everybody, if you could give our buddy, former appointment setter, Devin Atkins, how's it going, Devin, in the comments below. We'd love it. And let's bring him in.
Yeah, let's bring him in. Nick, can you take that Facebook user post off there? For some reason, I can't see it on my screen. Oh, yeah, there we go. Cool. Awesome. Devin.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Shark Live Show.
Thank you, sir.
You're a crowd favorite. You're a crowd favorite. That's awesome.
You guys helped me, that's for sure.
Well, you're doing all the work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's awesome. We can only point the way, right? But you're doing all the work. So awesome. Well, I'm really excited you're here. Let me pull up my question. So a couple of things I wanted to talk to Devin about with first, because so we brought Devin on to do appointment setting, right? So he was actually making calls and stuff like that for us in the agency, reaching out to people. What's that?
Tom, I just want to ask one thing before you get into that real quick. Have you ever before you met us, had you ever done any of that appointment setting before?
Not on that level. Not the way you guys had me doing it. No, I haven't.
Yeah.
It was totally different how you guys had the method.
Yeah.
And the strategy that you guys used.
So you had made some outreach to businesses before, right? Like, but very little.
Yeah.
Like, how many times would you say you did?
I probably reached out to 100 different businesses and couldn't get anybody to show up. Or it was tough.
Gotcha.
Well, that's a pretty common struggle, right? A lot of people think, "Oh, I'm going to make this thing work," and then they go out there to try it, and it's frustrating to say the least, right? And so you start looking for other ways to get around that because you don't, it's not an enjoyable process, especially when it's not generating anything for what you're doing, right? So you know when you started coming on for us and doing the calls, like, why don't you talk a little bit about just like the first few calls you made, like because I mean, I wish people could see the dramatic change that you went through. I mean, in a really short amount of time, right? Like, how'd you feel about those first few calls you made?
The first few calls, I was super nervous. I mean, you're talking to business owners, you're working with you two and on behalf of you guys. And, I mean, calling those business owners was definitely intimidating because I didn't know what I was doing. I was getting into a brand new type of selling because what I'm used to is, pitching what I do and then going in there and talking to these brand new business owners about a brand new service that I'm learning. I was super nervous.
Yeah, well, and so the first few calls, I mean, like they were like, did they go? They really didn't go that smooth, did they?
No, not at all. The first few calls I remember making with the people, I was like stumbling in the words, trying to change the script, not sticking to the script, and that was like Nick said before in some of his calls. He said he's stupid and he actually needs to follow the script. And that's the same thing for me. Like I'm dumb. And when it comes to actually following the script, it really helps having something. Cause then if I just go off track, it's just a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, that was our first rule, right? We're like, what's the number one rule, Devin?
Stick to the script.
Yeah. Well, because and I think you bring up a great point there that I think a lot of people on this live can relate to, because and I know I relate to this too, because this is what I did. Like I want to I don't know, I have a hard time just taking something and just doing it, right? Like I want to analyze it, I want to break it apart, like I want to look, and this is especially true before you make those first calls or you make those first outreach attempts, is like my brain will go 90 miles an hour with every possible thing that can go wrong, right? Like I'll look at something in the script and be like, oh, that word, well, what if they say this? Well, what if they say that? Well, what if this happens? Like the what if game just goes bonkers, right? It's like a freaking sideshow circus in my head. And you know, a lot, like the real eye-opening thing for me, and maybe you can tell me if this happened to you, was that realization that a lot of those things that I fear are going to happen never really happen, right? Like they're just things I'm putting all this stuff, my thought process and stuff on that, and having the script and sticking to the script allows you to just focus on, you know, what you're saying. And then as you do that, you realize like, oh yeah, people aren't going to say, like, for instance, I know in the beginning you were doing the, you know, the business verification method for our AGM site. And, you know, maybe you can talk about like compared to before you were doing things for us when you were outreaching to businesses, like what was the difference in the reception just from the people that you were talking to about, like, just how did those calls go differently because you were just calling to verify their business? Like, did you find did that like, you know, take the edge off? Did it make it easier to kind of like get in the flow of things? Like how'd that work?
Yeah, I think it definitely made it easier using that method because you lead with value. You're not leading with, oh, hey, look, I'm trying to sell you something. It's like, hey, I'm offering you help for your business. We're local. We'd like to help you out by giving you this free listing. And that's, I guess the biggest thing when making those phone calls for me was just leading with value. Even like just reaching out to anybody, you know, if you're cold calling, whether you're talking to them, you just want to provide value, and being able to reach out to them with that method of providing value and giving them something and just exchange for their information, which we later on, like you guys are using for email campaigns and stuff like that. I thought it was very easy and a good strategy to use. Those calls went pretty smooth. They were really open and receptive. There was a couple people though that just were like, no, I'm not interested. I'm like, okay, it's weird, but all right, have a good day.
Well, I thought what was interesting about you saying that was like, I remember you being on the, like after you were like getting the hang of it and doing it for like a week or so, you're like, like I would hear you on the phone. You'd be like, like, sir, listen, like this is free. Like there's not like, I'm not selling you anything here. Like, and it is that, like, it does change that, like, you don't have to be flustered by any pushback that somebody gives you, because you can feel confident that like, look, I'm just trying to offer you something here that's valuable, that will be useful to you. And if you don't want to take it, like, that's cool. Like, all right, don't take
Not my
like,
problem. Yeah.
yeah, like, okay, like whatever. And then you just move to the next person. Right. So I think that change is really good. Did you notice a difference? Like, you know, Nick has the Hawaii Thrive website and all that stuff up there. You know, did that help, like having that resource kind of like in the background where, you know, people could see the links, they could go to it, they could do that stuff. Did that help you? You know, I know a lot of people struggle with credibility, like the feeling of not having credibility and authority and all that stuff. Having those things in place, right? Did that help you have that a better feeling of confidence and stuff when you were making the calls?
Yeah, I mean, I had confidence that I knew I was going in it with you guys, and you guys were already, you know, doing your thing out there. But yeah, the website, I mean, any business, I think, owner is always wondering, oh, what's their website? Do you have a website? That's how businesses, I think, now are, I guess, verified now, because they actually have the website. Because I mean, if you go, like you guys know, or we all know in this group, that if you don't have a website, it's kind of hard for someone to believe you that you're actually a business. And so, yeah, having the Hawaii Thrive and that resource definitely made me confident because there were some people that would go, "Oh, what's the website?" I'm like, Hawaii Thrive, and I would have to spell it out for them because they would always hear drive. So that's a problem. But when I said, yeah, if you're in front of a computer, just go ahead and go to hawaiithrive.com and check us out, and then I would walk them through it. Say, hey, you can do it yourself. So yeah, it definitely helped because then you could direct them and say, oh, take a look at the website. I'll give you a call back in a day or two. So yeah, that helped for sure.
Devin, you mentioned like before you started working with us, you did some outreach before. What was that outreach? What was that for? Like, what were you selling?
So mainly, so I tried the social spy that you guys had. I just didn't have a lot of time to make phone calls, and the environment that I was in, it was always loud. There were always people coming in and out, but it was that for social spy, kind of gave up on that. It was just the environment. But the other things that I was trying to sell were real estate marketing and reaching out to realtors and stuff like that. And I didn't have a script, and I would just wing it. Be like, hey, are you looking for leads? And that wasn't good. It didn't plan out pretty well.
So you didn't have a script, but you also you weren't leading with value in any way. You were really just trying to look for a sale.
Yeah, pretty much. I would just go straight into the sale. Hey, my name's Devin. I run Facebook advertising. Let's set up a meeting so I can get you some leads through Facebook. And I definitely have been learning now how I've been setting all these appointments with what I'm doing currently is we're leading with value more. We're offering these realtors something that we're offering them appointments, right, with qualified buyers or sellers. So I'm leading with value more now. But before I wasn't leading with value, and I guess, that's the biggest thing to do is just lead with value.
Yeah, that's a big mental shift for a lot of people, because a lot of times you think like, oh, I am leading with value because my services are valuable, but it's like, and that's something too that like you can adjust, that model that we have. It doesn't have to be a business verification type thing, right? Like oftentimes, if you just really look at whatever it is you're trying to sell, you can find something that you can pull out that you can lead with some type of value on to make that process in the beginning easier,
Like also like what Tom is saying. So for who's on this live right now that has the yellow brick road strategy. So in the yellow brick road strategy, we give you some ways of doing that. Put a 1 in the comments, you guys, if you have that strategy. The way that we are able to lead with value in that strategy is we have a Facebook page, and we do like a shout out post for a business. So we let a business know that, we're shouting them out on our page, and we just want to get some more information about their business. That's a way that we lead with value, right? Rather than imagine calling somebody and say, hey, do you guys want me to do some marketing for you? Kind of like what I did originally and what Devin mentioned he did originally, looking for real estate agents that are looking for leads. It's a much more of an uphill battle, right? And for what we do in our agency, we have our Hawaii Thrive website, right? Our AGM site, which a lot of your members in as well. Let me know in the comments, put AGM in the comments if you're a member of AGM right now. And the way that we lead with value there is we have a couple of tools that really help us, right? We have our site, first of all, but then we also have the lead importer plugin. So we're able to pull in all these businesses off of Google basically instantly. You can literally have hundreds of businesses and have them with all of their information, an image from their Google business listing imported into the site in just seconds. So then when our appointment setters or ourselves call these businesses or email or send them a direct message, we lead with value by letting them know, hey, you have a listing on our site. And so when Devin says that he's leading with value, he's finding a different way to get his foot in the door. And so when he came in and he started working with us, we kind of, I guess, showed him how to do that with our AGM site. And now he's doing something else. How many appointments have you booked? How many appointments have you booked this week? It's Friday.
Well, we're taking a different approach. We're actually reaching out to people who are looking to purchase homes now. So, amongst the team, we probably booked like 15 or 20 for the day. For the week, sorry. But those appointments that we set before were with all realtors. and we led with value is like, hey, would you like to work referrals? Because I'm partnering with a real estate agent. So last week it was 69. Today we're taking a different approach, and we're actually doing like the ISA work, where we're scrubbing the leads for the realtors. So about 15 or 20 for the week, probably.
Nice.
That's awesome. And I know right up to like when you were doing the AGM and the business verification method, I mean, you were booking about 6 to 8 appointments a day. Like you would come in one day and you'd be like, okay, there's 5 appointments tomorrow, 6 appointments tomorrow, 8 appointments tomorrow. So yeah. And I think the biggest lesson there for anybody watching this call right now is that like to book those appointments, you have to make like the calls have to get made, right? They have to get made. And it's a process of getting smoother and smoother at it. So, you know, whether it's you doing that outreach in the beginning because you're just trying to get traction and all that, or you bring somebody on to do it for you, it's that the calls being made is the critical task that has to happen each and every day to get these kinds of results, right? So if you don't have a system in place or a set of tools in place that allow you to do that easily, then that's what you should. I mean, that's kind of we always talk about holes in the bucket of our business, the holes in the bucket of our business. That's a pretty big hole in the bucket of your business. And that's what you want to address first and foremost. Devin, I noticed too, like last week I don't know if it was last week or the week before in the Facebook group, I saw you used one of the strategies from our website client system course where you just offered some free, like tell people on the show, like what you did there and what your results were.
So basically, well, I signed up for the Shark Alliance a while ago, and then I kind of stopped on that. And then I went back to it, and I went to the website client system, and I went on this app called Nextdoor, and I pretty much just made a post on there about, hey, I'm offering to do a free website for someone, right? And I got a lot of interest on it. A lot of people responded to that, and I went to go do this gentleman's website for free. Started working on it, got everything, and he offered to pay me $500. And I said, okay. So I left that post up there, and I started working on his website, and then he flaked out on me and said, oh, something happened. Like, he might have been a health emergency, he said, but I just don't ever believe anybody when they flake out on something like that. But basically, after that happened, that post, I started making people pay half up front before I even work on their website or do anything for them. So I would take $250 or $500 over the phone when I'm in the Zoom meeting with them, and then I would finish the website. But I pretty much just offered the free service, and through that, I got a lot of people who were actually interested, and I was able to charge them and say, hey, someone already claimed their website, because someone did originally, and then they flaked out. So it opened up a door for me to sell more services, or actually sell the website.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the process in the call. So, because I know, the first thing, right? Like the first thing we talk about a lot is follow the script. Like, let's just follow the script. Let's follow the script first and see how that goes. And then we can make adjustments if we run into issues, right? But our first step is let's just follow the script. But we also had a little process for like, before you even get on a call with somebody. So maybe you can tell viewers, like, what was the process you went through, like before you actually dialed the number? Did you do anything? Maybe I should say that. Did you do anything before you actually dialed the number, or were you just kind of reaching out cold, or what did you do there?
Because the businesses that we're for AGM, right? We're talking about AGM. I would just go on there, get all the leads that we have for the type of business and the niche that we wanted to get. And I knew that, okay, these are all, I would click on their website, look at it while I'm calling them and talking to them, just so I can get a little bit of an idea of what it is they're doing, where they need help, if they need help. There was a couple of times I would get on the phone with people and be like, yeah, your website's kind of outdated. And I'd throw that out there after I got their verification information. That's the most important thing too. I think get their information first before you try and offer any services, because I've had some people hang up on me because I went into, hey, you guys need a website too. Right. And I learned that from them. That was one of the mistakes that I learned. But yeah, I would go on their website, look at what they're doing, and then call them.
Yeah, and so you don't spend a lot of time doing that. It's just a quick thing that you can do right before you get on, just to give you a little more kind of clarity on what they need. I know I see
Yeah.
some people in the comments are saying that they didn't have much success with the free kind of website approach. Hey, one thing that I did that worked for me was not to really do it free, but to like pick a niche, like say a roofer, right? We have the roofer roundup theme. So I would set up the roofer roundup theme, which is super easy to do because all the demo content and all that stuff is included in that course, right? So I would just buy some kind of like dummy domain. It didn't matter what it is. It didn't have to be relating to roofing, but I would just set that site up on there. And then what I would do is I would just reach out to I would go to Google. No software needed for this. I just go to Google and I would Google roofers and I would look through all the Google map listings of roofers that didn't have a website. And then I would either call them or reach out to them and say like, hey, I have this, I'm doing this program. And as part of the program, I built this roofing website. So now I have this roofing website. I had to build it anyway. So I'm not looking to charge an arm and a leg for it, but I would just like to go ahead and get rid of it. So if you're interested, I can sell it to you for $500. Here's a link. You can go check it out. If you're, whoever the first one to respond will get it. And that worked really, really well for me. So maybe if you haven't tried that, and again, these strategies, like the free website approach, this approach we're talking about with the $500 approach, like these are things you just do in the beginning to get traction. Like these aren't really things that we recommend you continue to do, right? Like if you're just really, if you just need to get those first few clients so you can show people you've worked with some people and stuff like that, these are kind of things for that. But, you want to try to get out of that as quickly as possible so that you're generating more consistent revenue and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Another question I had for you, Devin, was, this is a good one. Did you record your calls?
Well, yeah, of course, every single call.
Yeah. Did you listen to them after?
Oh yeah. When I bombed the call, I was like, oh crap, where did I mess up? I was like, what the heck happened there? I would go back and listen to it. I'm like, okay, I won't do that again. And that's why I'm saying like I learned from certain things that I was doing because I was recording the calls. Even on all the calls that I make now, I record the calls and I listen to them and figure out where I went wrong. So that's record the calls. It helps. It's only going to benefit you. I mean, yeah, it takes more time out of the day to listen to them and go back, but you're learning sales and you're learning how to get better and you're investing in yourself. So, and you're getting paid for it or you're enjoying it. So yeah, I recorded the calls.
Yeah. Well, and one thing we did too is like we had you block out like an hour at the end of the day, right? Like, so there was like an hour at the end of the day where you were reviewing kind of what happened for the day and then getting yourself set up for success for the next day. Right. And so that's a good like you don't necessarily like if you feel like you didn't do great on a call, sometimes it might not be the best thing to go back and listen to it right away. It might mess with your confidence, but like setting some time aside either at the end of each day or periodically through the week or the month or whatever that is to kind of go back and listen to those things is good. Another good strategy is to just, record yourself delivering your script without talking to an actual person, right? Like, so just, fire up your phone audio recorder and just go through the script like you were talking to a person, pausing if they were to respond and stuff like that. And then play that back and listen to it too. That can help you in the beginning to help with your confidence as well.
One thing that you guys recommended too that really helped me is practice the script like a movie star. Like that's what movie stars do, right? They read the script over and over again. And that was really helpful because I implemented that. And the other thing too that I want to say too, the goals, like I set goals of calling 100 businesses a day and set at least 5 appointments. That was one thing that helped me too. Just setting goals in the beginning of the day, knowing that, hey, I have to hit these numbers. And most of the times I achieved it. So I was happy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you have appointment setters working for you now? Did I read that right somewhere? Yeah. You do?
Yeah. There's like 3 or 4 people making calls right now while I'm on this meeting, which is cool.
That's pretty awesome, man. Congrats. So yeah, I think, the way that I got started with it is much like you. Like I came in I didn't have the confidence and the skill level to make the calls. So I thought it would be pretty difficult to hire somebody to do that. It's not impossible, but I just felt like I had this mental block. So I had to make a couple calls for myself just to figure out what it was like. That way I could manage somebody, tell them what to do, let them know what they would be experiencing on the other end. The thing that I found is that if I use the script and I do something where I'm not selling up front, like I'm giving away something of value, then the conversation is entirely different, right? Like it's not the fear that I had was totally made up in my head, because I want you guys to imagine making this type of call, right? Like we're used to in our head, we're used to thinking that a sales call is going to be like, hey, business owner, how are you doing? I see you don't have a website. Let me sell you a website, right? There's a lot of fear that goes in that type of call. But if you make the type of call where it's like, hey, my name is Nick. I'm calling from the Hawaii Thrive Initiative. And we've given your business, we're a community resource here in Maui, letting the community know which businesses are still open. And we've given your business a free listing. We just want to verify we have some correct information. And, it's totally free. And the response is totally different. And I think for a lot of people, there are a lot of ways that you can get that foot in the door strategy in place. You can use, like I said, a Facebook page with shout outs. You can use what you're using, leads, real estate leads.
We have realtor leads. Yeah.
Realtor leads. And then what we're doing, you guys, is we're using our agency growth machine lead business verification system, which is what we taught Devin with. So if you guys missed the training yesterday or the day before that, we have basically broken down step by step that business verification method. And so if you guys haven't seen that, you'll want to open this link up in one of your tabs, offlinesharks.com/fast, and save it in the tab for after this live, so you can watch it. But wait till after the live. Don't go there right now and start watching it. Don't leave us. Hang out with us. We got another 10 minutes. But the reason you want to do that is because that's kind of the missing link for a lot of people. Now, I want to just really quickly make a clear distinction between the yellow brick road strategy and agency growth machine. So the yellow brick road strategy is all about how to bring in an appointment setter into your business or start making appointments for yourself. Same thing like Devin's doing right now, right? So if you have that, that's great. You can start using that strategy, setting appointments, making all that happen. But we've connected that with agency growth machine. So think about having a community resource website and then having your appointment setters having something to talk about while setting appointments so they can get their foot in the door. Or if you're making the calls or the emails or the direct messages, then you have a way to get your foot in the door and lead with value. So this is just our creative way of leading with value that we've had crazy amounts of success with. A lot of our students have as well. Devin, obviously, when he came in, hadn't booked any appointments previously. We had him using our AGM method. Look at him now. Now he's running an appointment center lead gen business right now. So, the first, like Dorn just said, the first one is the hardest, but then you realize that it's not. If you have the script and you're leading with value, the person on the other end is more than likely going to be happy to hear from you.
Yeah. And I think another good thing to point out too, especially with agency growth machine, is it gives you something to build your confidence, like in not only you being able to make calls, but being able to show somebody how to do it. Because a lot of times, like, you can just use the business verification method in AGM to build a list that you can then market to on like a one-to-many basis. And that requires you to do no selling. And when I say no selling, I mean it. Like, you just call them up and you say, hey, look, we've given you a free listing on our site. I want to verify your business information. Is this all correct? And Devin will recognize these words because this is what we did for a while, is at the end, you just say, okay, well, this isn't going to appear in your listing, but what's the best email I can get to send you a link so you can view your live listing? And now we add that email to our list of people we can contact, right? And that's it. Like, you don't have to try to set an appointment. You don't have to try to sell anything. That's a really good way to build up confidence with doing this, is just doing, 25, 50, 100 calls just like that, to where there's no pressure for you to do anything. Like, you just got to verify their information and ask them for their best email so you can send them the link. And that will help build that confidence in your ability. And you'll see that, like, oh, these people aren't as scary as maybe you've made them out. And this process, it actually really works. And then it becomes a lot easier to, one, you can start communicating with that list you've built, but also you can start adding things on, like setting appointments and talking to them about, areas you may have seen, because you can say things like, look, when we were setting up your listing, we noticed you don't have a Facebook page. When we were setting up your listing, we noticed your website is pretty out of date. When we were setting up your listing, we noticed your Google My Business page wasn't claimed. Like, those are things you can start adding in there. Nick, I'm sorry. I'm out of questions there. Those are all the questions I wanted to ask. Actually, I do have one more. I do have one more question. So Devin, since you brought people on, you have a little team that's doing appointments for you, which is an awesome feeling, right? But what would you say are the most important things to have in place for an appointment setter to be effective? Like, are there any tips you can give viewers that would be like, hey, look, if you're bringing these people in, this is what I'd make sure I have in place.
A script. For me, that was the most valuable thing that I had. I had a script that worked. Now, script, and don't change it. Let them have the script and tell them to stick to that and run through a couple calls with them. I think, the best thing is just to have a script and, be there for them along the way. The script is definitely one of the most important things for me. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I think that's a great tip. And like Dorn said, like, and like you just said, having them actually do the script for a period of time, and then having, as Dorn called it, a debriefing. I like that word, a debriefing on how did it go? What were the reactions you got? What were the responses you got? Like, now, okay, is there like, now you have data and feedback that if something's not working, you'll probably see it pretty quickly, and you'll actually know what to change or where you need to adjust things. But yeah, that's great questions. I mean, Devin, it's freaking awesome to watch you doing what you're doing. And when Devin was working for us, he did a few different things, right? So the first thing he did when he came on was we had him fill a card. We had him fill one of our CCSU mailers, which he torched my record. He filled it in like 3 or 4 days, which was a little disappointing, but, I'm going to still claim the record. I don't want to give that title up. Then we had him doing the appointment setting with Agency Growth Machine. We had him doing the business verification and building the list. Then we moved into actually setting appointments and things like that. So again, it was a process, right? Like a process that we went through, and those processes are laid out in our trainings. Like, you guys have seen them. We talk about this stuff all the time, not just in Yellow Brick Road, but in Agency Growth Machine and in CCSU. Like, these are the things that are the core strategies and principles that we use in our business, because they work, and they can work for you too. You just got to implement them and put those resources in place. So yeah, Devin, thanks for coming on, man. It's really awesome.
Yeah. I went in, I want to say too, I mean, I went in there for a month and a half with you guys, and I got just enough confidence to go out on my own and set appointments. I feel like that was definitely one of the biggest things that I was lacking. And because I came in and you guys taught me how to do it, I mean, I felt confident enough. I obviously know I could learn a lot more from you guys, but I felt confident there was a window of opportunity. So yeah, thank you guys for teaching me how to set appointments.
Man, it's awesome. Like, it's great to see this success you're having, and keep sharing it inside the Facebook group. And thanks for coming and hanging out with us for a little bit and sharing your insight and your knowledge. And hopefully some of you watching this will get like motivated to get out there and be like Deb. They have this thing in Hawaii. What's it called? Be like
Eddie would go.
Eddie would go. They always say Eddie would go. Eddie was this big wave surfer who would go out in the big waves. And so when you're scared to do something, they say, hey, Eddie would go. Like, we'd say, hey, be like Devin. Devin would go. Go do it. Just go do it. Devin would go. Just go do it. So anyway, Devin, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you hanging out. guys, give Devin a big shout out in the comments of this stream. Let him tell him we appreciate him coming on and taking time out, stepping away from his busy team and the little empire he's building and sharing the information. So thanks again, Devin. Really appreciate it.
Empire.
All right, we'll talk to you later, man.
Thanks, Devin. Yeah, Devin's focused specifically on real estate. And you guys, to record our calls, we have our appointment setters use Pipedrive, but you don't need to. There are other ways to record your calls, but that's what we're using, Pipedrive. And of course, you guys, all of that information, how to record the calls, the softwares to use, our scripts. You actually have a lot of those scripts in Yellow Brick Road, but our business verification scripts, the processes, all that stuff in Agency Growth Machine. You can find more information on that by watching the training at the link below, offlinesharks.com/fast. And then I do have our final Cash App winners, Tom.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me cue the graphic.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Yeah. It just gets me pumped up every time.
So at the beginning of the call, you guys, we had you congratulate our Shark shoutouts, and 2 people were chosen by our team, Amir Amin and David Main. David Main. Congrats.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, man, it's been another fantastic Aloha Friday Marketing Jam session. This has been a great one. You guys had great questions. You had great feedback. I mean, I thought the insight Devin had was great. Again, if you haven't, go to offlinesharks.com/fast. Check out the training there. You guys are going to love it. Even if you're a current Agency Growth Machine member, you'll want to go watch that training because we did share some things in there, some newer things we're doing with Agency Growth Machine that we haven't really shared before. Plus, at the end, there's some additional materials and bonus things that current AGM members don't have, and we show you how you can get that. So if you are an AGM member, go there, check that out. If not, offlinesharks.com/fast. You guys are going to love the training. Nick did a great job on it. And yeah, I think that's another Friday live show in the bag, Nick.
It was an awesome time, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll do it again next week.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Aloha Friday. Stay safe, everybody.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.